Families across the Southland have seen their lives change dramatically because of coronavirus.
That's right. For kids, this can be a scary and confusing time. Parents might have questions about how to help their kids cope with all of these changes. Joining us this morning is Dr. Karen Rogers, a clinical psychologist with Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning.
Can you tell us how parents can help their kids adjust to being out of school for so long? It's hard on kids and parents.
It certainly is. It's a huge change for kids, and it came very unexpectedly. And so nobody's had a chance to prepare or anticipate that this was going to be happening. And that can cause a lot of anxiety and stress for both children and families. So I think it's really important that parents recognize that this is a very difficult time for children, and that some of the behaviors that they see that are making this difficult for them as parents are a reflection of the children's feelings.
Doctor, what are some of the common signs that children and teens might be showing to their parents that really are warning signs?
So one thing to take seriously is when children are talking about or asking questions about coronavirus or why they're not in school or the changes in how we're all currently living. But I also think that a lot of different types of behavior changes can reflect stress on the part of children. They may particularly become more irritable, more demanding, more clingy, or more hyper, and those kinds of behaviors are really a reflection that they're struggling to cope with the changes that they're experiencing in their daily lives.
Oh yeah, my 3.5-year-old son is acting up.
Acting up is very common, yeah.
What can parents do to help teenagers because they're missing out on so many milestones like senior night and prom?
Yeah, for teenagers, I think the experience is really different than it is for younger children who will be going back to their regular lives. But older teenagers and young adults are losing milestones that they may not be able to get back, like prom and senior night, graduations. And these are milestones in their lives that they've looked forward to for a long time. They're really markers of maturity, and the loss is really, I think, impactful for many of them.
Yeah, and for the younger kids that really don't understand what coronavirus is, how should parents just try to communicate with them about the changes that they're really experiencing right now?
So one of the most important things for parents to do is to listen to children and what it is that children are most concerned about, and help to reassure them about those things. Particularly young children don't have the experience and context to understand what's happening, and may have sort of unexpected misunderstandings about, is my school still there? Are they still my friends? And so listening to what the concerns are that their children have and reassuring them is really important. I think another really important strategy for parents is to show children that they're listening by what we call active listening, or just saying back what they've said to make sure that you understand. Just being understood is a very powerful relief for all of us. That's true for children as well.
And there's a lot of talk about structure. Some parents are trying to do curriculum at home. Of course, there's school, but what ages are best to have structure, and what are the best ages to be a little more loose?
Oh, that's such a great question. So when we think about structure, we think about like an hourly schedule with specific things on at different hours, like a school day schedule is very structured. But for younger children particularly, we can think about structure in terms of big blocks of time. So we go morning time, afternoon time, we do different things in those chunks of our time. And some children really, they break up their day in terms of what time is snack, what time is lunch, what time is nap. Keeping those things consistent really provides structure for them that's very helpful.
I have to imagine that it's important also for even the older kids to still kind of have a routine.
Absolutely. All of us, even adults, really still do need a routine, and that's true for older children as well. I think talking with older children about how a routine is important for all of us during this time, and helping them to have some sense of input into what that schedule is going to look like for the family is really important. We've all lost a sense of control over our lives, and for teenagers and young adults and even middle school kids, ways that they can have input and feel more of a sense of control, I think, will be helpful for them. And they're more likely to cooperate if they feel like it's not being imposed on them without any input from them.
All right, Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. this morning. We
You're
appreciate the
welcome.
insight.
So much insight, Dr.
Yeah.
Rogers. Thank you.